We are going to go through every wizard multiclass build in D&D and then rank them, and in cases where there's a crazy build to be found, we'll do a quick guide so you can play along. Some of these are insane. Let's go. Artificer. Kicking off with the obvious, Artificer plus Wizard is great. They both use Intelligence as their spellcasting stat, and if you start the build with a level in Artificer, you get proficiency in Constitution saving throws, which is amazing for wizards. We'll be hearing that phrase a lot in this video, buckle up. The Artificer dip also gets you medium armor and shields, and the Mending cantrip, and the Replicate magic item feature, which can add +1 onto that shield. If you're mathing along, that is 21 AC from half plate and a +1 shield, and you have the shield spell prepared, so you can bump that to 26 AC as a reaction. A lot of the Artificer subclasses also give you great uses for your bonus action each turn, which wizards typically lack. If you're in 2014, Battlesmith Artificer plus Bladesinger Wizard is insane because it lets you attack with your Intelligence modifier. Armorer Artificer is still great for any type of wizard though, giving you heavy armor proficiency without the need for strength investment. Armorer is the only multi-class that can do this. Even other multi-class dips that get you heavy armor proficiency still require you to have some degree of strength to wield them effectively. Unless you're a mountain dwarf, but that's a different thing. Artificers are S tier, but they're not quite the best. There are better options to come. Barbarian. Speaking of better options to come, this isn't one of them. Now, you'd think that Barbarians would be instant D tier when combined with Wizards, because you cannot cast spells while raging. You can't even concentrate on spells while raging, and Barbarians have to rage to access almost all of their good features. They also require 13 in strength to multiclass into, which isn't impossible to do as a wizard, but it is rough. It means you're going to be dumping wisdom, which you never like doing. However, there is a secret wizard Barbarian multiclass build that genuinely does have its own niche. The Bladesinger Barbarian is not a joke. I mean it's funny, obviously, but it's real. Bladesinger's biggest weakness is that they're squishy. Yes, your AC is high, but if you do get hit, you fall down. Well, maybe you could resist all bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing damage with a level in Barbarian for rage. Yes, you can't cast spells, but you can still benefit from lingering spell bonuses like Mage Armor, False Life, and Mirror Image, and level 10 Bladesingers get Song of Defense. This lets you burn a spell slot as a reaction to taking damage to reduce that damage by 5 times the level of the spell. Throw that on top of your Barbarian resistances, and suddenly you are tanking really hard. And Blade Singing stacks with the Barbarian's unarmored defense, even when they're not raging. And seeing as Blade Singers always try to prioritize Constitution when they can, this should be a rough +3 to +5 boost to your AC. Also, if you're jumping into a session at a higher level where you don't need to worry about the logistics of the early game, you can kick the entire build off with a level in Barbarian, giving you a few extra hit points and that precious Constitution saving throw proficiency. Is this optimal? No, probably not. But being a frontline wizard at all isn't optimal. It is, however, an incredibly fun, genuine build that offers unique advantages over other choices at that level. You've got better AC, better tankiness, and all of that for just a level 1 dip in Barbarian. Having that one niche build is just enough to squeeze Barbarian into the bottom of the C tier. Definitely consider this if you're ever running a high level one-shot. Bard. Bard is our first full casting multiclass. That means any levels you take in Bard will still count towards the level of the spells that you can cast, which is very nice. A Bard dip also grabs you Bardic Inspiration, which is a bonus action buff, and we know that wizards don't typically get many uses for their bonus action. The problem is that your Bardic Inspiration uses are tied to your Charisma modifier, so unless you're really messing around with your stats, you're probably getting 2 uses per day. And sadly, almost all the Bard subclasses require you to expend Bardic Inspiration to do anything, and using 3 levels to access those subclasses is very steep. Skill Expertise is fine, but there is a multi-class option coming up later that gets you it 1 level earlier. Bards also don't get any saving throw or armor proficiency that wizards might want, and even though they do get healing spells, which are nice, there are much better multi-class options to access those spells. You're gonna call me crazy, I know, but I actually think bards should be below barbarians. Yes, barbarians are terrible for wizards 99% of the time, but there is that one niche option you have for blade singers. Whereas bards I don't think they have any niche on any wizard build, at least that I can find. This puts them as our first D-tier multiclass option. Okay, here we go. Hey, Stephanie! I know it didn't end too well between us, but I'm kind of short on people to play D&D with right now, so I wondered... hello? Jimmy, my friend! Are you out of jail yet? Hello, NatWest Banking Support? Yeah, I was wondering if you'd be down to maybe play Dungeons and Dragons over the phone? Ugh. Hey, bro! What are you doing? I'm trying to find someone to play D&D with, but I don't know anyone who plays right now. Well, dude, just use Start Playing Games. Start Playing Games? Start Playing Games is the largest online platform for players to find TTRPG groups for any game system and any VTT. You can join as a player or a group of players looking for a GM, or host games yourself as a game master and find players. You can even earn money as a paid GM. There's every type of game for every imaginable system, ready for any schedule you have. You can even filter for games especially designed for beginners too, so you can learn as you play. Drawsteel, Cosmere, Daggerheart, Shadow Dark, Pathfinder, D&D, Star Wars, Call of Cthulhu, there's a table waiting for you for anything you could ever want to play. Jump into one-shots or start a long campaign when you start playing at startplaying.com. And if you use the link below, you get $10 credit for free towards your first game. A great way to meet and laugh with new friends in a welcoming place, no matter your schedule or experience. Check it out, link below. Cleric. Praise the Lord! Cleric is absolutely one of the best multi-class dips in the game, and wizards love them. 2024 D&D, you get heavy armor proficiency from the Cleric's Protector feature at just level 1. And in 2014, you get heavy armor from a bunch of Cleric subclasses, which Clerics also get at level 1. Either way, that is heavy armor from only a single level dip, and unlike the Paladin and the Fighter, which can give you heavy armor, but you have to start the game with a level in those classes, you can take this Cleric level at any time to pick up the heavy armor proficiency. You also get shields, and healing magic is the one thing that wizards can't do, and Clerics have you covered. Multiclassing into Cleric is also easy. Anyone can convert, it's only a 13 in wisdom required. It is never a bad thing to have a few points in wisdom, and Cleric levels still count towards your spell progression because they are a full casting class. Finally, Clerics have some of the most busted ass subclasses in the game. Twilight Cleric, Peace Cleric, hell, maybe even a meme War Cleric Bladesinger build could be worth looking into. You get a big AC boost thanks to Shield of Faith, and you get bonus action attacks. Honestly, you can pick almost any Cleric subclass and find some cool combo you could do with a wizard. They are better in 2014 D&D because they get all their amazing subclass features at level 1 and 2 rather than level 3, but no matter the edition you are playing in, they are fantastic for wizards. S tier. Druid. So, at a glance, Cleric and Druid look kind of similar. They both get you the healing spells, they both only require Wisdom to enter, and they're both full casting classes for your spell slot progression. Druids also get medium armor at level 1, which is very nearly as powerful as the Cleric's heavy armor, because unless you're actively dumping dex and investing in strength, you're not gonna get any benefit out of that plate mail anyway. And being so similar to Clerics is kind of bad, because it raises the question, why not dip into Cleric? Unlike Cleric, Druids don't have many early game features wizards really care about. I mean, Wild Shape is fun, but what is a wizard going to do with that? Oh, I am so glad you asked. Introducing the Bear Singer. You can blade sing while wild shaped in D&D. 100% rules as written. That gives your wild shapes plus 10 movement speed, a chunky boost to AC, and here's the crazy part, animals' natural weapons count as weapon attacks. They don't count as unarmed strikes. This is sad for monks, but it's amazing for you. You can attack in bear form using your claws and your intelligence modifier. Honestly, you might not even want to do that, because a bear has 19 strength anyway. You might be better off just using the bear's natural strength. But the option is there, and moon druids can wild shape into more powerful forms and even cast some spells while wild-shaped. Is this good? Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fun and it's unique. Okay, wild-shape's power is dictated by your druid level, so taking 3 levels into Bladesinger to do this is a steep investment. But a level 3 wizard Bladesinger dip also gets some really handy spells for your druid, like shield, silvery barbs, disguise self, etc. So there is genuine value here. Once again, a random, memey, blade-singing tech option is enough to pull this multiclass out of the D tier. They can sit with barbarians at the bottom of the sea. Fighter. We all know this is going in S tier, let's just rank it there now. Starting your wizard with a level in fighter gets you a fighting style, heavy armor proficiency, constitution save proficiency, bonus action healing, and, if you're a bladesinger and you care about it, weapon mastery. The fighting style might not sound so tempting for wizards, but remember, you can just slap on the defensive fighting style to get +1 AC on top of your medium or heavy armor. Proficiency with shields is another +2 AC, and in 2014, Action Surge can let you cast 2 leveled spells on the same turn. That is obviously crazy, and even in 2024, Action Surge can let you use a powerful wizard subclass feature as an action and still use a leveled spell, like Hypnotic Gaze plus Fireball. The only downside to taking levels in fighter is you're not contributing to your spell slot progression, so you don't want to take too many. Still, it is wildly powerful for wizards no matter the edition of the game. Nothing more to say here, it's awesome. Monk. So, we all love monks, but they have their share of problems. For a start, despite getting a glow up in 2024, they still require monk levels to build up their focus point reserves, which they use to fuel their cool abilities. And in terms of playstyle, they're almost literally the opposite of what a wizard wants to be. Monks want to be running right up to an enemy and attacking them, wizards want to be staying way back and dropping nukes. Sure, the bonus action dash or disengage does sound interesting, but there is a better multiclass option coming up that lets you do that as well. Monk's unarmored defense is also probably worse than just casting mage armor, unless you're really prioritizing intelligence, wisdom, and dexterity. And if you're doing that, you're dumping constitution, which is terrible for, you know, kind of staying alive. It also means your concentration checks are going to suck, which is just bad for your big wizard spells. But what about Bladesingers? I know we're talking about Bladesingers a lot, but that's because they play so differently to every other type of wizard, they're kind of their own consideration with every multiclass option. Unfortunately, although monks do get you a bonus action attack every single turn, Bladesingers are all about attacking with weapons, and monk's bonus action attack has to be with an unarmed strike. If you want that bonus action attack each turn, you're better off just dual wielding as a Bladesinger. So even though there is a thematic tie between Bladesingers and monks, they're definitely aligned in spirit, they do not pair well together. Monk wizards are D tier. Paladin. Paladins get heavy armor. Great. A fighting style. Great. Constitution save proficiency. Great. Shield proficiency. Great. Healing spells. Great. You even get weapon mastery, which is great if you're a Bladesinger. The problem with Paladins is it's hard to see what they can offer that fighters and clerics don't offer more easily. The answer is nothing, with the exception of Divine Smite on the Bladesinger. 2 levels of Paladin gets you all the aforementioned good stuff, and then a ton of spell slots you can use to slam into Divine Smites every turn. As a full caster, you have way more expendable spell slots to slam into these, and in 2014, they don't even take your bonus action. Divine Favor in 2024 D&D is also a non-concentration plus 1d4 to every single damage roll you make. That, in theory, could be a really nice buff you slam onto a Barbarian Bladesinger, but at that point you are literally just memeing. It's fun, but it is not serious. There is one final niche for Paladins, and that's if you want heavy armor proficiency and constitution saving throw proficiency and healing spells, and you literally cannot afford to take any more than 1 level of a dip into another class. Paladin is the only option that lets you do that. And honestly, I could imagine a build that wanted all that stuff for only a 1 level dip, and the Smite Singer does sound like a fun niche build. Paladins are high C tier. Ranger. Poor old rangers, I'm not going to beat around the bush, you have very little here as a wizard. You don't get constitution save proficiency, you get your fighting style later than the fighter does, you never get heavy armor proficiency, and it's harder to multiclass into than just going druid. Really, there's only one ranger feature you might find a use for, and that is the 2024 favored enemy. This gives you the spell Hunter's Mark and lets you cast it twice for free. That in turn gives you an extra 1d6 damage when you hit a target with an attack roll. If you're thinking this might be good for Bladesingers, it's not. There are way better spells available. The idea here would be to try and use this with the wizard spell Scorching Ray, which lets you make a ton of attacks as an action. That gives you 9d6 damage with a second level spell slot, with an extra 3d6 for each level you upcast it. It's not bad damage, but Hunter's Mark is still a concentration spell, and wizards have so many better options. There's also a much better Scorching Ray wizard combo just around the corner. Sadly, just having one spell that's kind of okay when combined with another spell on the wizard spell list is not enough to lift rangers out of D tier. Rogue. Rogues are a very friendly multi-class option. You only require 13 in dexterity to enter, and just 2 levels gets you access to cunning action, letting you dash, disengage, or hide as a bonus action every turn forever. We already know that wizards typically don't get many good uses for their bonus action, so this is lovely, albeit not particularly explosive. I want you to ignore sneak attack. A conditional extra d6 damage once per turn is not the reason we're interested in Rogue. The other level 1 features are quite solid though. Weapon mastery for Bladesingers and expertise is nice. But the real draw to rogues, I think, are the subclasses. Rogues have the Arcane Trickster subclass, which makes them mini wizards already, and it pairs well enough with the main wizard class, giving you 3 additional cantrips and an upgraded mage hand. But if we're talking 2024, I want to highlight the Thief Rogue, because they get the ability Fast Hands, letting them activate a spell scroll as a bonus action. And you're a wizard, so you can scribe your own spells onto spell scrolls to then later cast as a bonus action without a spell slot. And also in the 2024 rules, if you're casting a spell as a bonus action, as long as it doesn't use a spell slot, you can still cast another leveled spell using your main action. This essentially lets you double spell powerful leveled spells every single turn. Really cool concept. If you're more into 2014 D&D, there's another fantastic option for a multiclass, the Assassin. 3 levels in Assassin gives you advantage on every attack roll against a creature who hasn't moved yet in combat, and every single hit you score against them counts as a critical. Why is this so good? Well, because wizards get Scorching Ray, which lets them make a ton of attacks for a single action. For example, a 4th level Scorching Ray lets you fire off 5 beams, each of which score a critical hit on any hit at all for 20d6 damage. The Chronomancy wizard also gets a boost to their initiative rolls, letting you get this off reliably. So the rogue is very solid. Bladesingers appreciate the Nick weapon mastery, and there's a bunch of builds that enjoy a bonus action dash or hide. I'm going to put them in high B tier. The real drawback is that no matter the edition you're playing, your subclasses are 3 levels away, which takes away quite a lot from your spell progression. Sorcerer. So let's be generous. Sorcerers get you proficiency in Constitution saving throws and yeah, that's it. The problem with Wizard plus Sorcerer is that all of the Sorcerer features that you would get that might combine well with your Wizard spells, you'd better off just being a sorcerer in the first place to use them earlier. In 2024 D&D, there is literally nothing here for wizards. In 2014 D&D, sorcerers get their subclasses at first level, which is generally very strong. But even with access to all of those for just a single level dip, I genuinely can't find anything here that you can't get better from a different multiclass. Sorcerers are just too similar to wizards to justify running both at once. When it comes to wizard or sorcerer, just go in one direction. D tier. Warlock. So this one, I think, might surprise you. Warlocks are charisma casters, and charisma is probably the stat wizards want to drop the most. They also get pact magic rather than regular spell slots, so they don't count towards your spell slot progression, they don't get constitution saving throws, or any meaningful armor proficiencies either. And with all that in mind, they are still high B tier. Here's why. Warlock invocations are great. In 2024, a single level in Warlock can get you a souped up Pact of the Chain Familiar or a Pact of the Tome for an additional 3 cantrips. The amount of wizard features that go insanely hard when you have an invisible imp familiar is ridiculous, looking particularly at you, Arcane Abians. And in both 2014 and 2024 D&D, from level 2 you get a bunch of invocations that wizards love. The 2014 Abjuration wizard can use the Fiendish Vigor invocation to endlessly recharge their arcane ward. It also grabs you temporary hit points, and this is so effective it is ban-worthy, and it's one of the few things that 2024 D&D actually forbade in the new rules. Eldritch Mind is also a ridiculously powerful invocation for wizards, giving you advantage on all your constitution saving throws to maintain concentration on a spell. This ability is so good, wizards often use an entire feat to grab Resilient just to access it. Devil's Sight, Mask of Many Faces, and Armor of Shadows are also potentially very useful for wizards to have. And then there's Eldritch Blast. It is the best cantrip in the game, and it scales off your character level, not your Warlock level. That means even a single level Warlock dip will have you firing out Eldritch Blasts with the best of them, which is especially powerful on the Bladesinger. Bladesinger wizards can cast 1 cantrip in place of 1 attack when they take the attack action from level 6. This effectively turns 2 attacks with a sword into 1 attack with a sword and 1 attack with a machine gun. A high-level dual-wielding Bladesinger is making 6 attacks per turn this way, and the Warlock spell Hex can add a d6 onto every single damage roll. Armor of Agathis is also a great spell for wizards. It is balanced around never being able to be cast above 5th level for Warlocks, but you can cast it up to 9th level if you want. You can see the Tank Wizard build guide on this channel for more information on how busted Armor of Agathis can be. And of course, 2014 Warlocks get their subclasses at level 1, so you can access a ton of juicy features immediately. Medium armor, shields, and Hexblade's Curse for extra crits from just 1 level in Hexblade. A bonus action tentacle attack every turn from the Fathomless, free temporary hit points, and a Frighten effect from the Undead. Honestly, in 2014, Warlocks might even be low A tier, but in 2024, when you get your subclasses at 3rd level, they're less about bludgeoning through a ton of features at level 1, and more about offering this juicy suite of abilities that you can grab depending on whatever wizard build you're cooking with. But what you absolutely should grab for any build is one of the incredible new subclasses, species, magic items, or game-defining rules expansions from my upcoming Kickstarter Mythozoology. Summon kaiju, craft epic mechs to battle kaiju, or play as a wizard who animates their spells as living companions as they cast them. Follow along at the link below so you can grab the free Blue Crystal Myth dice when the project launches. Also remember to like and subscribe, check out other videos on the channel, and yeah, that's all I got. I'll see you next time.